Hey y'all, it's D, and welcome back to Danganronpa. So, last time we left off, we were just starting the murder trial, and I was very tired, so I ended the episode. I think it was like a 3-hour long episode, but I really wanted to just get to the trial, because the trial itself is usually like an hour long, with an extra 30 minutes of talking afterwards before the actual execution happens. So, without further ado, let us continue in our Trigger Happy Havoc. It's unfortunate, but I suppose this is where our investigation comes to an end. You'll have to figure out the rest for yourself, come to a proper conclusion. Yeah, you're right.
Shall we go?
Well, we better get going. Okay. They killed my boys. My 2 boys that I could do voices for pretty easily. Believe it or not, the Shaggy voice really comes pretty naturally to me. It's just like, geez, Scoob. It's just easy for me. I don't know. Everyone heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they gathered it by the red door. As soon as we were all there.
Monokuma appears!
Alright, so here's a start to the episode. Hello. He multiplied.
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way because it's an illusion. I'm moving so fast, it looks like I've multiplied. Oh, so it's Assassination Classroom. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? Both of them? Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you. Okay, fine.
Hey!
Then if everyone here's ready to go, please board the pain train, elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please.
Hold on! I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you I didn't do it for serious. That reminds me. Did you ever find the costume or the note? Well, no. But, how unfortunate. Then it would seem that we have our culprit. This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the classroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. Why do we still trust Byakuya after he literally tampered with a murder scene? That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive. And for the 2 that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka. The one who killed 2 of our friends. The killer is someone right here. Minus Hero. It's very obviously not Hero. He's very obviously being framed. So I'd guess. Man, I really don't know, cause like Sakura's the only one I can think of that can lift up Hifumi. But obviously Sakura's very innocent and very fighting for the right side of things. Let's just go for it. We don't need to talk to people. I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. Ah! Makoto, you gotta stop breathing like that. It's fucking weird. I began to walk towards the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, the doors closed on their own, and the steel box began to move. It's weird how many people are missing now. The clunking elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. We're running low on men. All we got is Hiro and Byakuya, and I'm pretty sure it was Byakuya. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator door slid open, opening up to the cruel fate.
When I see all of you gathered here like this, I just realized just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the word.
Only 'cause of you. Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What? What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial.
Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I definitely wouldn't end a stream right before a trial and then bring it back. I definitely wouldn't say go to the next episode for the class trial. That's definitely what I wouldn't do.
Yoo-hoo!
I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly class trial! Yes, hold on, save yes, please. Okay, let me set my skills real quick, because I got new ones. Increases time limit for each phase during the class trial. Okay. Let me just see what else is around. Hello, yummy stuff. What? Is that all I got? I thought I got more than that. Alright, well, got that. Just make sure I'm not accidentally skipping over anything. I guess that's it. I thought I had a lot more. I didn't open my handbook. I also found out that you can't save during these class trials.
Basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
So what happens when we run out of students? Like, what if there's too little students for us to really make a trial, and we're just like, well, obviously it was that person, because everybody else has a good alibi.
Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Nope.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Yeah, that sounds right.
Murdering mouth, murderer!
It says you.
Who are you calling a murderer?
Exactly.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know, I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. It obviously isn't. So many dead people. Yasuhiro's message! What was Yasuhiro's message? I forget what Yasuhiro's message is.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
Oh, it was the message to meet
I don't know
because they
anything
found a
about that
hole.
stuff. It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
I forgot I was supposed to be hitting that.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Oh, did I miss something? I mean, looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awfully messy. If I remember right, Hiro's handwriting is...
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit part.
Okay.
No, that's
I was
wrong.
thinking of the torn paper. It's talking about the message that he gave to us to meet in the cafeteria.
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice?
Somebody else.
Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second
Maybe.
suit?
That could be it. I was really denying it last time. Like, no, there's not a second suit. They just put it on him afterwards. But that could be the case.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto.
Whoops.
So?
And of course, he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question. Hina. What?
Shoot!
You wanted me to say the Illuminati? Because it's not Hero. That's right, they're all working behind the scenes to try and set me up. Those dudes are super scary for serious.
Shoot!
No, Hero agreed with me, damn it. What? I thought this entire I thought it was about it not being Hero.
Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
You just agreed with me.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't,
didn't.
do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement?
Yeah.
You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Yeah. Who fucked my mom last night? I heard it. We're all in the school, Byakuya. I heard it, though.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
I don't see why Taka's would be the problem, but okay.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The things that were used to move Taka's body. I know what it was. Repository.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. What else?
Shoot!
Look. That was evidence that the Adali was used, alright? Don't make me feel like an idiot. I don't see anything. The repository dolly and Celeste account, Yasuhiro's message, Robot Justice costume, broken wristwatch. I'm so confused. What does it want me to say? What can be used to move a body here? Oh, the blue tarp. I'm an idiot. Yes, the blue tarp was used.
I got it!
They were a dolly and a tarp.
Oh, we just
right?
ran out a lot of time. What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain.
Why they just treat me like...
Taka's body
They just treat me like I'm their son or something, just like, go on then. Go on, Makoto, I know you got it. Like, every class trial, they're like, you can do it, Makoto, we believe in you. Come on, we've given you the puzzle pieces. It's all on you and none of the other students on trial.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
I didn't even notice that.
Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
My poster. My
In other
Danganronpa
words,
poster.
you
Go back
think
up.
They used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room.
And Celeste definitely has something to do with it, but I feel like she's an accomplice, if anything.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
I raise you by tenfold, Blackjack.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around
Wow,
you.
what a bitch. Wow, I never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved. New element has been added to truth ballots. Another element. Okay, wait, let me just fix something real quick. I'm hurrying up and I'm hurrying. I'm moving at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Okay. That's much better. Okay. Please explain the new element to me. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. And up until now, there really hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the triangle won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing square. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the square button in time with the tempo markers. Okay, I can handle that. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action didn't... Okay. Anyway, have fun. Do it. The moment of truth.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do
I'm
your
doing
worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
I'm started doing bad.
Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
The blood stain. Why did I have to do that with her?
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it.
Yeah, why
right
didn't I
here.
just show that to begin with?
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the
Why
killer.
don't we just all have each other write a sentence? And be like, okay, that's handwriting matches this one.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? I really don't know either. Oh, right. I have to press X then.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
He can't bend over in the Robus. The Robus. He can't be the Robus.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together.
I'm blind as a bat in here. I can't feel my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. It seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
True.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body because you can't just take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
Now that I think about it, it could easily be Celeste because she could have faked that picture. I don't know how, but she could have faked that picture. I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice that's happened. What if it just did a flashback and it just kept on going up until we got back to the class trial and it's just like, wow, Makoto, that was really useless information, thanks. That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Yeah, I didn't.
You
But
all
it's
got a
even
good
more
look at it,
suspicious now.
Did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
You drugged them both. And I don't know.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt?
That guy hit me.
What guy?
Robo Justice, sir. What I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Really, Aoi? We just gave you evidence that that wasn't right, but now that Celeste just said, forget everything about that, I took a picture, you're just gonna go with it?
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain
Yeah, kinda.
in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I
Why
know it
would
was
you
an
know
hour,
that?
Because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her
Also,
assailant had been
are we not
wearing
gonna
a
bring
strange
up the fact that
costume.
1, Celeste had that camera for some reason, and 2, oh wait, no, maybe she asked for it? I don't know. And 2, can't we check on the camera when the picture was taken?
As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Yes, we know, we heard.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I
Celeste,
did.
what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, this strange man, costume man. I don't know, I'm getting her voice wrong now. It's her.
and then...
Ungya. Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been. Hifumi! He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Let's go get him. He's dead.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, We had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something
Hifumi's
very
body has
surprising.
disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried
This
back.
can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
See, the whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events,
Yeah, that's what I was
think we have
thinking.
to
I said
consider each murder a
maybe
separate
Taka
situation.
walked in on Celeste. I'll say Celeste now. I didn't say Celeste before, but I think Sokka may have walked in on Celeste, taking care of a body or something, or cleaning off blood of something. And you know Taka, he's not going to keep his mouth shut or anything like that. So she killed him.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then,
The contradictions
let's get
hidden in
started,
what happened to
beginning with
Taka.
what
In
happened
order to
Taka.
uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Make your argument. Monokuma File 3. It says what time they were found.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Damn it.
Because of the numbering of
I
the
made
justice
myself look like
hammer.
an idiot, as usual. Whoops. Where's my fast forward button? Okay.
So,
Regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you
Yes.
Because of the numbering of the.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of
Wait, so I was
Justice
supposed to
Hammer 4.
object to one of the other ones?
So it's obvious Taka came after. So.
No?
I wonder
What am I
if, or
missing
perhaps
here?
it was- We already know what order they were killed in. Shoot. So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say
Because of the numbering of the justice.
It's true that
Did I
Hifumi
not?
was killed
Have I
while
not
Taka's
done it
death-
to all of them?
So it's obvious Taka came after.
so.
I did it to
Regarding-
what
I wonder
order?
if he
Taka
died,
came
or
last.
perhaps
What
it
makes
was
you say
after.
that?
We already know
The
what
numbering,
order
I
they
already
killed
did it
Taka
to
came
that.
last.
what makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammer.
It's true that
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death.
See?
Just
So
Justice
it's
Hammers were
obvious
numbered,
Taka
but
came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
Or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammer.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer.
like I'm
while
so
Taka's
confused.
death
What am I
came
missing
from a-
here?
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before
Like-
Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
Like
we
what?
already know what order they were killed in.
I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
Or perhaps it was We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes
Is
you
my
think
game
Taka
glitched?
It's true that he flew while Taka's dead.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Definitely off sync? Wait. How am I out of sync?
So it's obvious Taka came after.
Definitely off sync? Wait. How am I out of sync?
So it's obvious Taka came after.
I'm sorry, you just had to hear that twice, but like, why am I out of sync? That makes no sense. That's weird. Let's see. Would... I have no clue what could be causing that. I accidentally unplugged the microphone. Do I have to restart OBS? Alright, let's remove the capture card. Re-add the capture card. Wait, no, I clicked on the wrong thing. Add video capture device. Add it. Not HD camera. Mirror box capture. Okay. And I need to go back into it. And use custom audio device. Mirror box capture. Alright, I'll have to figure that out in editing. But it's doing an echo. It's doing an echo. Stop. Okay. Now, is there any way? Okay. Down, up, now. Is there any way? Okay. Down, up, now. Okay. Give it a second so that echo will quit. It seems that I fixed it. But now I can fix it without actually ending the stream, which is good. Thank you for telling me that, Saibishi. Good moderation skills. Alright. Stream returns in 5, 4, 3, 2. Alright, it was out of sync. It won't be out of sync for you guys, but it was out of sync. So, I fixed that for the live stream. You shouldn't see that in the VOD, because I'll be fixing it, hopefully. I was able to fix it with Outlast. I should be able to fix it for this, especially since it says the words that they say on the screen. That should be pretty easy. Alright, now let us continue. Also, Sabishi, are you able to tell me what I'm doing wrong with this? I've done this so many times, and I feel like I've hit the two people, the two things that I can hit, with no result. Were they really using that order?
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in.
Oh my god.
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Do I not have the correct evidence on hand? Do I know how to... Oh, well, I'm glad I read that before I just ended the whole trial.
So, regarding Taka's, I wonder if he died before he, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Yeah.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding I wonder if, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed.
Yeah!
That's wrong.
Ooh, I almost... Thank you, Sabishi, for saving the trial.
There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order,
But in fact, they weren't.
but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. Hangman's Gambit. Wrist? Failed! Nobody believes me, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Uh-oh, have we already come to the end of our debate? It would appear that the one with the most votes is Makoto. However, Makoto is not the Blackened, too bad. Looks like the killer gets to graduate. On the other hand, everyone else must now be punished.
Is this really the end for all of us?
Want to give it another shot? Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
I can't give up now. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Do I still have the same amount of health? Hopefully not. Oh, I don't. Okay, thank God. Wristwatch is what he wants. I just accidentally pressed. Ah, there it is. Wrist. Watch. Give me an A. Give me an A. Give me an A. Oh. Damn it. Okay. No, I did get it. Give me an H. There's an H. Got it.
Now I understand.
I understood from the beginning. Our first failed trial thing.
Wristwatch.
I got farther than I thought I would. And it was on accident, of all things.
It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey you! How long were you going to keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice, he pointed to his watch,
so if
and it was right.
broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
Yeah.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
Yeah.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
Oh, wow, you're right. Oh, shit.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Ungya. What was that? It came from downstairs. We just saw this.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko.
Could it have been Aoi? I really hope it's not Aoi.
Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
It's possible, but regardless, yeah, no, that's probably not what happened.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. When his body vanished from the nurse's office,
If you are too worried about something, then ask me. I know this trial. That means something big is gonna happen this time, huh?
Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Because she has a very specific way of killing people.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi, or on the other hand,
Oops.
Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared. So they most certainly could have done those things.
Was it Aoi and Celeste?
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That is what I am most stuck on in this case.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
We could not have gone for more than a minute or two, so then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short of amount of time? It would seem so.
His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Oh my god, she had the Infinity Stones.
What?
If the dead body were to move itself.
What you getting at there, Kyoko? Were you missing some cocaine? What were you doing, Kyoko?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
But then again, he did talk to you afterwards. Is Hifumi the accomplice?
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive, is it really possible? Was Hifumi helping Celeste because he was, I don't know, lusting over her or whatever?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Yes.
And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Alright, I have to capture another. I'm sure the only body discovery announcement was only made once. But Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered at almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Alright, it was worth a try. Meaningless words tire me, peasant.
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
These are getting so hard now. I'm so scared of what the final one is going to be. I'd assume that either the next one or the one after is going to be the final one. We're running low on students to murder.
Shoot!
Takes away a whole
Are you
heart.
saying that when we first found Hifumi...
Alright, I think it's this one because it makes it kind of hard to get with that.
It is impossible.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body.
Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Man. Alright, hit me with it when you get a chance, Sabishi. I'm gonna try again on my own, but hit me with what the answer is after this.
Shoot!
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually...
No,
It is
Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Shoot!
These went from 0 to 1 trillion within that span of time from the last episode before that rather. I was kicking ass at these. What happened? I was doing so good and now I'm not.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Damn it.
Alright,
here's my guess. Maybe I have to grab this one at the very end.
You heard the body. Hifumi's dead, and that is...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
So now I have that bullet. Do I still have
Are
it?
you
Yes.
saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been...
Okay, I did it.
That's wrong.
Didn't need your help, Sabishi. I still appreciate it because I'm sure you were typing the answer in the
body
comments.
discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Yeah?
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Monokuma getting lazy about murder.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Yeah, he's offended. I can already tell you he's offended.
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Oh, yeah!
Huh? Later on?
When we found them in the closet.
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
First time I played was when we found each body in the nurse's office, in the equipment room, just after Hifumi came after life. It was after he died again, but yes. When both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it. We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
I know the killer, not all the answers. I love Google. Yeah, Google's great. You have all the answers with you now? Thank you. Ding dong, ding dong. All the bodies have been discovered.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard.
I liked it.
But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Hifumi's glasses. Glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi, and then, while me and Celeste were in the bath, his body disappeared.
Whoops.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Damn it. It was probably the next thing she said.
Well, here's one. The first time we found him, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw it was in...
But when you compare his body before,
Other than the change in how it was, there was no notable difference.
Yes, there is.
No, that's wrong.
He cleaned his glasses. He was like,
Oh
no, my glasses are filled with blood.
His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Evidence. Okay, really? You couldn't handle that one on your own?
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Okay. Sorry about that. I just... Alright, let's continue, I guess.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
Yeah? Okay.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Damn.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi. So what I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead,
Why would be the question.
what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Yeah. Who? Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But why?
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Just 1 second. I need to go check something. There's a little bit of a family emergency happening right now. I'll be right back. Okay. Like I said, there's a bit of a family emergency happening right now. It doesn't have anything to do with me, but I might have to be in and out of the stream a little bit. My nephew's getting dropped off here at 10 o'clock, which is an hour from now, so I should be good to get through the trial. I will be ending the stream a little bit earlier, just because it's on my mind, right? Like, can't really have a great stream with all that on my mind.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The thing he stole from Taka, could it be... the thing Hifumi stole from Taka? The thing Hifumi stole from Taka? The spotless hammer.
Shoot!
You wanna hit me with the answer, Sabishi? Because I only got 1 or 2 more chances with this. Repository dally, Hifumi's glasses, spotless hammer, repository door. Something that can be stolen. Not that. Not that. I don't think it's Yasuhiro's message. Thing Hifumi stole from Taka. Or could it be the note Hifumi had?
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Ah, got it.
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his... pants?
Yes, his pants.
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole. Maybe we can use it to escape. Monokuma
That's the
doesn't
note
know
I was
about it.
telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants! Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka!
Hopper? Jesus. Scare the shit out of me, dude. Come here. Yeah, I'm sure you're wondering where everybody went. Come up here. Over here. Yeah, lay down. Special guest starring Copper the dog.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Taka had the ripped piece of the paper.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. It's the torn piece of paper. It's the torn piece of paper.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
The time on the note says 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.?
Huffy had the note, right?
Oh wait, the broken wristwatch. The broken wristwatch.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Yes, it does.
That's wrong. No, there absolutely is a connection.
What is the connection, Makoto? Enlighten us.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
Oh, you gave me the answer. Thank you. I figured it out, but thank you.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka would be... that.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper.
That he was.
If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
That they are.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap.
And he didn't think that that would be damning evidence? Because I would.
Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
No, he's not. There was a body announcement.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
Yeah, what she said.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
Yeah, what he said.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway,
She's calling
when
you
they
a
were killed
walrus.
bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
Is it the lack of marijuana in the building? Because I know you, Yasuhiro. I know you.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Right. That's kind of what this entire thing was about.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
And the weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow, I have to find the truth. Make your argument. Make your fucking argument. Spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
The spotless hammer.
Was it Justice Hammer 3? Shoot!
I really just went for it on that
What
one.
was used to kill? Was it Justice? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
There was no witness.
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Oh, but why not?
Shoot!
What was used? Was it just maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody... Sounds like a Justice Hammer! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing...
Let's go to murdergear.com/info. You know, I'm the kind of person that whenever I see or hear a website on a TV show, I immediately type it in. murdergear.com/hammertime. It's like, it's clothing. It's clothing for a brand called, like, Zombie or something. That's weird. But it's cool that it actually does lead to something. Yeah, go ahead and check it out, Saibishi. Let me put it in the chat. It works. It's a real website. It brings you to, like, clothes.
Seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
But there was a spotless hammer that you didn't account for.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
The same exact hammer, but washed off.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
Yeah.
If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones.
Whoops.
I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Yeah, that seems like that would be the correct answer. I'm currently fixing the mic. Yoinkus. Okay.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, There is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
Celeste is definitely being the most suspicious in this entire thing.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... yeah, why would he? I'm still stuck on that too. The spotless hammer, that's definitely not what I'm using. I have to grab somebody else's words, which I'm great at.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
That felt like what I was supposed to grab.
Based on the rules that have even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I have to do. That's what I have to do.
based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is how the...
But that only really applies if in this case, however, there were two murders.
Hello, MPTP77.
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true. It is.
That is.
But that only really in this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay, got it.
Based on the
Now
rules,
hit her
even
with
if
it.
more than one person is complicit in only the one who actually carried out the assuming the rule holds.
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
You're wrong.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering.
Duh.
Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then...
You're saying
Whoops.
that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
Yes, Celeste.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Oh, MPTP77, you missed it. There's two murders. The heavyset dude and the Super Saiyan dude died. I know you haven't been watching Thorns from the beginning, so I don't think you have their names memorized. It was Taka and Hifumi. There were two murders, and we assumed it was one person, but maybe it was two people, two separate murders. I guess we can't get rid of the second blackened, because I'm pretty sure the second blackened would have been Hifumi. The effort was made to... That's not even his voice. The effort was made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic of this time. Kyoko must have noticed the fact from the very beginning. which is why she said not to look at a series of connected events but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has been folded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me.
Here's my answer.
Did I get it?
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yes, you've been the suspicious individual, I gotta say.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Yeah, that's... Have you been listening? Yes, that's what we've been saying this entire time.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
She's showing her true colors.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
Yeah.
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
The paper hidden in Hifumi's hand, the screaming, encountering suspicious.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Yeah, those two.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Don't apologize, he's being a dick.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
Hush, the adults are talking now. Anyway, he's correct.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
I already called that she was leading us on a chase. I didn't know if she actually did the murders or if she was the accomplice, but I knew that she was definitely bringing us on a chase when she just said, I saw a shadow. Ah, come over here. Ah. Away from over there. Ah. Yes, we know. We saw that.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
I'm not going to end it right now, obviously, but I just want to see. I can save. That must have just been for the PSP version. Because I was looking at how long to beat this game, and there was reviews up, and it was like, my least favorite thing had to be the class trials, just because you couldn't save them, and they were over 60 minutes long, blah, blah, blah. Also, I didn't realize this game was for the original PSP, not the PS Vita. It was re-released on the PS Vita, but Danganronpa was released on the PlayStation Portable, which is, really seeing this game? I'm surprised when I had a PSP that it wasn't recommended to me or anything, because, like, holy crap, this game's good, especially for, like, portability? That would have been great. Ungya.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
I'm gonna get real close to the mic to talk to MPTP77 about what he just said. All I have to say is, Hifumi also wears glasses. And that's the end of that conversation.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split up into 2 groups? Oh my goodness, stop giving us flashbacks that we just saw.
If Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that piercing cry of yours early on.
Yeah, that was
to
piercing.
signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
As I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
I would have said that the picture's becoming clear, but sure, it gets ugly.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
Yes.
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it.
Just 1 second. Alright.
You made one fatal mistake.
Yeah. What was it?
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
She was enjoying it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Right. So say it please, say it. Byakuya and Celeste's comments doesn't make any sense. What's he alluding to? The fact that she said those guys. Yeah, that's not gonna help us.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
That's not what you said.
We are going to die, just like those guys died.
That's what I wanted.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
What?
Shoot! All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying...
Am I still on? Hold up. Hold up. Because I was looking at how long to beat this game, and there was reviews up, and it was like, oh, my least favorite thing had
I just realized another
around frightened and confused. We're all going to die.
I was for Fumi. You ran about. Yeah, you hit that.
Yeah, she's, yeah, that's,
Really be enjoying this.
okay, I am on.
Enjoying this.
I had to make sure that Saibishi's buffering wasn't related to the stream itself. Alright. Continuing.
The sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I...
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Alright, so I got us killed.
shoot.
Yay! Failed. Some help, Sabishi. Give it another
I
shot.
refuse to give up yet.
You can't give up yet. Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my hand. I'm definitely not getting a good score on this trial, that's for goddamn sure.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be... We are all going to die. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's
Sabishi is
obvious
one of the killers, but it doesn't
what was so
matter.
strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively ill. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died.
No, Margarina. Fine.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us.
I think Sabishi's internet was murdered.
We are going to die. Just like those. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious if what was so strange about Celeste's comment.
Do I have to grab the so strange and then hit the two guys with that?
The sight of us, they must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Really?
That's wrong.
Really?
That's right. There's no
Lay your
reason
head down.
Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
That wasn't on me. That should have worked. Hey, don't sniff the microphone. Get over here. Lay down. Jeez. Our special commentary from Copper the dog.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall.
That's why I have a downloading only PC. What? What? Oh, do you mean that you don't play online games because of internet? Yeah.
There was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And because Kyoko had also disappeared, right?
Whoops.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Name and race of the doggo? We actually don't know the race, but his name is Copper. We know that he's some form of hunting dog. He has the tail that curves up and has the white tip so that he would be found in tall grass. That's why they have those. He's like a light brown. I'll post a picture of him on Twitter after this. Guest starring Copper. Named after my favorite, one of my favorite Disney cartoons. I'm not gonna say it's my absolute favorite, but it's definitely up there. The Fox and the Hound. Very good movie.
So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
Why would you know that?
In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Hifumi
I got it.
Hifumi
It's
has
not
the
a picture of
suspect on his
dragging
back.
Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
It's a sad movie, yeah, but it's really good. And then they made a really awful sequel to it.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
I guess it's not the worst movie in the world, but it's definitely not. It's not what The Fox and the Hound is.
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
Because I say so.
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
It's my nephew, and, yeah, I'll be able to hear the door.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect. Was that really possible? No. Yes, hero's message, the Robo Justice blueprints. Well, it's the costume, probably.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling
That was it, because you can't not stand up straight.
You dressed me up in that. Then you just draped me. You tried to make me look like.
I love his fast forward voice. It sounds like a prepubescent version of him.
As you can see in the picture,
If the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up.
There you go. Also, thank you so much, Saibishi, for reminding me of when my nephew was being dropped off. There was absolutely no need for you to do that, and that was
No.
super nice of you.
Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist.
that's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Oh man, I wonder who's guilty.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
You're the problem, though.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
You weren't there for that, and we didn't tell you. It was Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
That doesn't really matter, Yasuhiro, but thanks.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Ah,
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us.
she just said that she'd burn us alive. I feel like that's more than enough to say that she's a murderer.
How did he refer to each of us?
He said for serious a lot, he gave everyone nicknames, he said people's last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Yes.
Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. So that was Hammer Yasuhiro's message.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
Nope.
Shoot!
Alright, I'm still grabbing it at the beginning just in
Wanted us
case.
to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person...
It would have to be you, Celeste.
How many times? Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict... That's the only truth there is! Moron!
Okay, so what am I missing? If I remember, there's something here that shows the owner's real name. Oh, the e-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something.
He wanted us to know the killers. If there's one person...
It would have to be you, Celeste.
How many times? Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan?
I'm not pretending, and since you have no way to control...
There it is.
No, that's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
You don't have to show the flashback of Monokuma
So all
saying
we
that
have
it
to
does
do
that.
is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because... Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Okay. Anyway, he was talking to her. Act 2. He walked in. Ew, boy. No, that was him pushing the cart. The drugs. The poster from the last murder, we got it. He drugged them. Oh wait, no, this should be 1 a.m. At 1 a.m. he swung open the door. He was confused. They put him in the suit after they knocked him out. And then, after they got the suit on him... Oh, the camera. She took the picture. He checked his watch. And then Hifumi. I never saw Hifumi as a killer, man. He had Justice Hammer 4, right? At the classroom. I might need some help with this. Oh, this was from the first... Okay, so that was from the first case. So that's nothing. And so is this. So it's that. Just 1 second, I have to mute myself. I apologize. Alright, my apologies. I'm still here. Hammer 2, not 3? Okay. Right, we found him in the library with Hammer 2, and then we brought him into there. He had blood all over himself. And then Hammer 3 showed up. Right, that's him pushing it into the room. And then lastly, I don't think that's it. But it's worth a try.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Face.
With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking them, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker.
Did I get that first try?
And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents.
Nice, I did it first try.
For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds.
I'll be right back. I think my nephew's here. Come on, Copper. Ooh, a stale McDonald's fry. Lucky you. Okay.
That the suspect was
Sorry about
increasing
that.
the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that... Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time.
Man, seeing those faces all together, I wonder who we're accusing.
So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Boy, I wonder. And there it is.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
What show does this kind of, like, etched out art style remind me of? It's fine, Copper, it's Caden.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor.
You just admitted it, so yeah.
I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Sorry if this sounds awful on the mic. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. Alright. And then I'll end it after we hit the execution. Oh wow, I'm surprised I got an A for that. I failed twice. 85 Monokuma coin. Thank you.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no.
Her voice sounds familiar all of a sudden.
I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote.
They don't actually
When
have the
votes
lever
are
drawn, and it
tallied,
kind of
who
saddens
will
me.
become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I wonder. What if it landed on a dead person?
It's basically a formality at this point.
Oh my god.
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The black in this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Teiko Yashahiro.
I'm sure I said that wrong. I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone who else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
Drop the bass. So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. How did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would be happily agreeing to commit murder. I'm sure he relied on her specialty. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I don't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then,
Then, did you use... You know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice... Oh, gross.
Indeed.
I used her. Oh! I thought she was saying that she used her body. Whatever. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does that mean? Is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
what? What the what? What are you talking about?
just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here.
I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one who stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into your plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit.
What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It was about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
What?
So then,
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her.
You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
as for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
as for me,
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then, it's hard for me to even say, he abused me.
What?
What a bitch. Don't lie about that kind of shit. That's fucked up. And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would then show them to everyone. So, I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far.
It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was.
I'm about to say something I never said before in my life. The N-word.
No, don't, Hifumi, don't. You're not allowed to say that. You're a fat white dude.
I'm gonna say it. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
Wow, Hifumi said the F word. That's new.
most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you will be playing right into his hands.
Huh?
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you. What?
Indeed.
And all he can keep... And also he can keep her to himself. Ugh, bastard! 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 Bastard!
Honestly.
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? I have to save her!
Actually,
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it was complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. I'm just a fucking psychopath is all. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive a people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was the real plan. It was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So, you decided to make me the suspect. Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my very expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry. But when you were explaining your plan to Fumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after assuming that you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained, it was to Hifumi. The plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have had an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent, in fact. Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end...
So, you planned to kill him all along? But of course. There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. How can a human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean.
Now, you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then, what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
What? Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life began here, my only thought has been escape. But all along you were saying how we had to accept living here.
You little bitch.
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And
was this dream of yours
Isn't it wonderful?
to live in a European castle? A castle? Oh my god. And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfect aesthetic world for my decadence. Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about! Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made the dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to
unfortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people I can fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. Whoops. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Wonderful.
I think I'd like to come back as Marie Antoinette. You'd get executed again. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed that she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills.
You all done? Okay, let's get rolling. The blackened disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
The ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
Yeah.
What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Maybe. But also, fuck you. And this is gonna be copyrighted. Hell yeah. These scenes always get copyrighted. Here it is. Oh, they're gonna burn her at the stake. That's not good. The burning of the Versailles. And they went painful for this one. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be some kind of twist. I don't feel like it's just burning. Oh no. they burnt her to death and then hit her with a fire truck. Good job, Monokuma. I knew you could do it. Yep, okay. It's over. And so is this episode. I know, I'm ending it. Well, I guess that's not too early. Some episodes last less than this, so let me save it real quick. But that is the end of this episode, so thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, press the subscribe button, because that's what people do when they like each other. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!